What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we are going to dive into the new agreement. A few videos back, I told you it is very important that you enforce the agreement. And the reason you want to enforce the agreement is to see what is working and what is not working that's inside of the agreement. Where are adjustments needed? Where are improvements required? These types of things. But you can't enforce an agreement if you don't know what the agreement is. So, right now, we don't have a physical copy of the agreement because it takes time to print them up, but we do have a digital copy. So you could jump into the website and look at your Inside Wireman agreement here at Local 26 on the website at ibwlocal26.org. Find the Secure Documents tab after you log in as a member, and it'll open up the Inside Wireman agreement. And I'm going to start at the very beginning. And we're just going to go ahead and take our time. We're going to do a little bit at a time, video by video, and we're going to learn this agreement. So let's start it out. After the table of contents, you get to the first bold title, Inside Wireman Agreement. Agreement by and between the Washington, D.C. chapter, National Electrical Contractors Association, and Local Union number 26 of the IBEW. It shall apply to all firms who sign a letter of assent to be bound by the terms of this agreement. As used hereinafter in this agreement, the term chapter shall mean the Washington, D.C. chapter, National Electrical Contractors Association, and the term union shall mean Local Union number 26, IBEW. The term employer shall mean an individual firm who has been recognized by an assent to this agreement. The term employee or employees, as used hereinafter, shall mean the worker or workers covered by the terms and conditions of this agreement. So right away, they tell you who the agreement is between, and it defines certain key terms that are going to be used throughout the agreement. So as we know, chapter is going to refer to NECA, employer is going to refer to the individual contractor, union is going to refer to Local Union 26, and employee or employees is going to refer to the workers, you and I. You scroll down a little bit more and you get to fundamental principles. This agreement is based upon the following set of fundamental principles affirmed by the parties hereto. Number 1, close contact and a mutually sympathetic interest between employee and employer will develop a better working system which will tend constantly to stimulate production while improving the relationship between the employee, employer, and the community. Number 2, the right of employees and employer in local groups to establish wage scales and local working rules is recognized. Number 3, strikes and lockouts are detrimental to the interests alike of employee, employer, and the general public and should be avoided. Number 4, public welfare as well as the interests of the trade demands that electrical work be done by the electrical industry. Number 5, the public interest is served, hazard to life and property is reduced, and standards of work are improved by fixing an adequate minimum of qualifications in knowledge and experience as a requirement precedent to the right of an individual to engage in the electrical construction industry, and by the rigid inspection of electrical work, old and new. Number 6, agreements and understandings which are designed to obstruct, directly or indirectly, the free development of trade or to secure to special groups special privileges and advantages are subversive to the public interest and cancel the doctrine of equality of rights and opportunity and should be condemned. Now, therefore, in consideration of the mutual promises and agreements herein contained, the parties agree as follows. So right here, it outlines 6 key principles that are what are intended by this contract. So we are clear of the intent of the contract as we move forward. Let me see, how much further should we go? Well, let's jump into a couple of the spots in Article 1, effective date, termination, and amendments, just so that we can, cover essentials, like the term of the contract. This agreement shall take effect June 1st, 2024, and shall remain in effect until May 31st, 2027, unless otherwise specifically provided for herein. It shall continue in effect from year to year thereafter, from June 1st through May 31st of each year, unless changed or terminated in the way later provided herein. So this is stating that this contract is going to run until 2027 of May 31st of 2027, and it's going to stay unchanged unless, as it provides later, there's like a move to change the contract. And what happens at the end of this contract is going to be change. And that's why we want to enforce the contract, to know why, where, how we need to change. But we're not going to stay the same. Life doesn't stay the same in 3 years. So this statement here is just letting you know, in 3 years, if you don't suggest a change, we just going to keep on rolling. If you slip up and miss that due date, then this goes for another year because you missed your date. So put in your motions for change promptly. Section 102, changes, termination, and unresolved issues. A, either party or an employer withdrawing representation from the chapter or not represented by the chapter desiring to change or terminate this agreement must provide written notification at least 90 days prior to the expiration date of the agreement or any anniversary date occurring thereafter. So 90 days before May 31st, 2027, you would petition to change the contract. Letter B, whenever notice is given for changes, the nature of the changes desired must be specified in the notice, or no later than the first negotiating meeting unless mutually agreed otherwise. So you can let them know what you're demanding when you ask for changes, or you can wait until the first negotiating meeting and then drop what you want to drop on them. So you have that option. Letter C, the existing provisions of the agreement, including this article, shall remain in full force and effect until a conclusion is reached in the matter of the proposed changes. That's pretty self-explanatory. Letter D, unresolved issues or disputes arising out of the failure to negotiate a renewal or modification of this agreement that remain on the 20th of the month preceding the next regular meeting of the Council on Industrial Relations for the Electrical Contracting Industry, CIR, may be submitted jointly or unilaterally to the Council for adjudication. Such unresolved issues or disputes shall be submitted no later than the regular meeting of the Council following the expiration date of this agreement or any subsequent anniversary date. The Council's decisions shall be final and binding. Letter D. This is called standard CIR language. This is the language that we operate under. It is my opinion that it would be wise to move for modified CIR language, which is the type of language that IBW 46 operates under. It allows you to keep your weapons in case you have to go to war. And what do I mean by that? Your weapon is your labor. Modified CIR allows you to withhold your labor in the case that you can't reach an agreement, and you don't leave it up to some suits in a room who don't know your life. But again, that's something that the membership would have to agree on and want to do, and it's probably a very hard process to get it done. But that's modified CIR. That's what I'd like to see. Letter E, when a case has been submitted to the Council, it shall be the responsibility of the negotiating committee to continue to meet weekly in an effort to reach a settlement on the local level prior to the meeting of the Council. Letter F, notice of a desire to terminate this agreement shall be handled in the same manner as a proposed change. And we're going to leave it right there because this video is already getting long. But we've covered Article 1, Section 1.01 and 102, and we also covered the Inside Wireman Agreement and fundamental principles. We'll keep doing these videos. I'll try to stay as committed as possible to keep up with this type of content for you, so that you can read the contract and gain an understanding. My name's Eric. You're watching Union Minded. Remember, the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. Remember, there could be no union without you and I front and center. Let's go. Peace.